ISL Challenger League, Group H, in the 9 o'clock position of Catalina, playing for Store Gaming. It is the Blue Zerg, EnDerr. Oh, that felt good.
Did. It looked good. Which begs the question, what is your favorite Blake Shelton song? But
no
down
idea.
Here,
is it Carnage?
It might be. I don't know if that's a song.
I thought that was like such a clever something.
I bet he has songs about the boreal forests of Alabama. I don't know what that. But down here on the bottom, the right-hand corner of the map, we have our purple Zerg player. He is from Team Boreal. It is Carnage.
Do you think these spawn positions favor the Zerg? Because I kind of feel like they do.
Maybe a bit. I don't tend to think of them as mattering as strongly for this, but yeah, it does shorten the rush distance a little bit.
I meant Carnage in this situation. I realized they're both Zerg, but I was looking at Carnage when I said that. I was like, oh wait, it's ZVZ.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. If it was. Terran is always one that gets an advantage, disadvantage, depending rotationally whether the drop is easy or hard. But yeah, obviously CVZ, no, not really. But you could say that it maybe favors the defensive player to be the one kind of rotated away from.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. In this case, I feel like Carnage has a little bit more offensive capability. 2 links going to the main of EnDerr, seeing what they can see. So far, it was almost the exact same build. Now it has diverted. Carnage going for metabolic boost, while Winter kind of macroing up, staying where he is, getting out double queen. I feel like the double queen's a little bit safer. It allows you to get that creep spread going, make sure you have those injects, and it also just you can defend pretty easily with 3 queens and a couple transfuses.
Yeah, pretty much. EnDerr will get in with his little scout and see that the Baneling nest is going down here. Also sees the researching speed, which is about halfway done. And still rotating around, juking away from this queen.
Yeah, still juking around a bit. I'm kind of curious for Carnage now. He's pulling out. He's going those 10lings. He's going into the aggressive area. He's trying to be aggressive, which, as we were saying before, I think that really favors him in this position. But as we have seen from EnDerr, or actually, I take back what I was going to say because it's the wrong player. I had this great formula in my head, and then it left me.
Nice. Happens. There is a spine crawler up. A triple Evo chamber wall is going to be coming up front. Lings are starting to come in, but they're kind of coming in a little bit piecemeal and single file here. Baneling will rush in and actually catch a bunch of drones, but
actually doesn't kill them though. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, one Baneling not enough to actually finish them off, but does still end up with one kill actually on a very weakened.
Off the back of this Carnage going into lair, I feel like I'm a little bit worried about him going into lair because he didn't really get that much damage done there. I mean, he killed a drone. That was about it. And so he's going up to lair, sacrificing that gas, which he'd either have in Banelings or Roaches, and because he is going Roach Warren now, but it's going to be a little bit tough for him to hold on, especially when he's going for a 3rd base right now. I'd love to see EnDerr scout it in just a little bit and go really, really heavy aggression right now.
Yeah, and he may have some ideas, get an Overlord on in front of the natural here, and I think he's going to swoop back around and maybe see the 3rd base has gone down. He's not actually going back that far. Does he know about this yet? No, he doesn't know about it. He does.
No, he's not scouted at 3rd base yet. He does have some nice Overlord positioning, though. In previous games, what I was going to say is we've seen EnDerr not actually have some... He hasn't really spread his Overlords. The original Overlord's in a nice path checking for any attacks, but not really great after that. We both see essentially the same strat coming out of each of them. Roach speed coming out in +1 or +1 attack, so kind of going for the same thing. And I feel like definitely Carnage is going to be favored in this map unless EnDerr makes something happen.
Yeah, I think so. He is being a bit. I mean, he will have. Well, the space is now spotted by EnDerr, so he knows that the 3rd hatchery is up there. But yeah, EnDerr has some options out, some upgrades already going, everything like that.
Yeah, EnDerr does have that, but I just feel like Carnage having the
Yeah.
third base so much
I
earlier
think that's a lot. Yeah.
and having Lair, maybe EnDerr has those upgrades, but from here, essentially Carnage can be like, okay, I'm going to get my next upgrades now. I got Lair down, so he's going to get very, very quickly his roaches upgraded quite fast, or maybe get tunneling claws, something like that, which will really be amazing in these roach-on-roach battles, which we're bound to see in this game very quickly. Looks like EnDerr actually spreading his Overlords out a little bit more to see what they can see, but won't actually see the third yet so far for him. Actually, he will spot the third. He doesn't actually know much more than the third went down, though. Doesn't know if there's any drones there or anything.
And we get second Evo coming down for Carnage here. And we actually do have Burrow coming out for Carnage as well, as a lot of roaches are being added on.
Yeah, a lot more roaches added on. Looks like EnDerr kind of going for the attack, but he does not want to overextend too preemptively and lose about half his army before they can actually do damage. And it does look like Burrow, as you're saying, coming down for Carnage here, which would be really good. I'd love to see Tunneling Claws. Zerg Missile Attack +2 coming down for both of them. So I'm really curious. Once Missile Attack 2 goes down, or actually they're both on Lair. So I'm curious if we're going to see a fast Hive, maybe? No, I don't know. What do you think out of Carnage?
I think it depends how some of these early engagements go. This one will be quite telling because EnDerr is coming in here. Both of them trying to get in good position. Slightly better concave for EnDerr here as he wraps around the gas in the back. But both of them, yeah, it will be Carnage that blinks first, pulling back, but then a bunch of Lings coming out to add padding will push him back. So not a huge amount of headway for both players. But EnDerr won't really be able to retreat because of these speedlings. So he will end up taking heavier losses here.
Yeah, lost a lot of his army right there. I don't think he should have taken that engagement, actually. Out of EnDerr, reinforcing with a lot more roaches, and both, literally, I love the upgrades are almost the exact same for both these players, and literally
yeah,
exact same
there was
timings.
actually the cute little play. Carnage has been darting into to corrupt, or whatever you call it, the contaminate the Evo chamber.
So
that he slowed it down because the +2 actually got started for EnDerr a lot quicker, but he held that off, and now they're basically on even foot.
Yeah, the defender advantage is so huge in these positions early game, especially with going just pure roach right now. It's gonna be. I'm very curious to see when one of the players start mixing into those hydras to provide so much more damage. But right now, for a Carnage pushing out a lot more roaches here, EnDerr trying to get a nice position here, but it looks like there's just so much for Carnage right here.
Yeah, he's got a good little position on him there again. We got using that tiny pocket of creep as well. Does trap out a little package of roaches and smothers them to death. This force of EnDerr is just kind of caught on the wrong side of the map, cut off from reinforcements. He's trying to find a way back, but keeps getting spotted. And now he's going to end up walking to a full surround.
This is going to be amazing for Carnage actually getting a full surround here, and especially with on the flank of Creature, of EnDerr, not in a very, very bad position here. Carnage pounding so hard down, there's no roaches left for EnDerr in this position, pumping out 10 roaches now, but at the moment, currently, it is 36 roaches to 25. So there will be the defender advantage here, obviously, but that was a huge win for Carnage there, and he lost hardly anything there. There's a nice Spinecrawler position, though. But if Carnage can get a nice concave in on this, which it looks like he actually will, it's going to be amazing for him.
Yeah, comes in here now. Does start off with a good initial position. Spinecrawler is down. Doing pretty well. He's got heavy forces at the top of this fight. The rest of it is relatively even. So as he wins the top, he'll be able to push down. But reinforcements are joining from Carnage's side actually a lot faster. Coming in now from EnDerr's at the top of this ramp may be more defensible, but now his reinforcements are cut in half as they come from the third base and can't really unite. The Roach Warren itself, in risk of going down, does fall, and it's going to be hard for him to hold it off at this point.
Yeah, it's so hard to hold it off once the Roach battle is won, and Carnage is an amazing concave at the edge of this ramp, so every single Roach coming in is basically going to a meat grinder. Carnage will take the first game 1-0 so far. Boreal Carnage taking the lead. Playing for Storm Gaming, the Red Zerg, it is EnDerr.
And his opponent up in the top right-hand side of the map, we have from Team Boreal. It is Carnage.
Start of this game, like I was saying, I'm really curious if one of these players is going to go Mutas, and that'll drastically change the effect of this game. But normally you see both players probably going Roach on this or some early Ming. What is that?
Ming.
Early Ling micro. And actually, it looks like I kind of want to say both so far. I feel like both so far. Probably, actually, too early to tell. I was going to say Roaches, and I was like, wait. They threw it on their spawning pool. It's not a Roach Warren. What am I talking about?
Yeah, and again, we've got the slight variation of pool first versus hatch first. Assuming nothing major happens, they do tend to kind of narrow it to the same area. It comes down to largely when you see the first gas out of each. And as I say, Carnage does take his first. But minor variation a few seconds later, we get it from EnDerr as well. So still some room for divergence here. We're going to have a mild economic advantage on Carnage's side. And,
Game paused. Quick pause by EnDerr right now. Maybe some lag there going on, but we do see from EnDerr, his third is a little bit earlier than Carnage, but I think it's pretty much the same. Both going for a pool first, actually. Both a little bit nervous in this second game about what may happen, trying to get that out. Looks like Carnage only going one guy in gas, probably going to put a couple more in there and only go for speed. Restarting the game, or not restarting the game, my bad. Going out of
Resuming the game. I was at a tournament once, WCG, like a couple years ago, and it was Combat X and Henderless playing, and then something happened, and one of the Combat was losing the game, and they had to pause it for some equipment thing, and then the referee told him, restart the game, meaning unpause it. But knowing he was losing, Combat X just exited the game and then said, oh, you said restart. So I restarted the game. So, and this is before you could resume from replay or anything. So,
that sucks.
So he just kind of took his early disadvantage and tossed it away. He still lost, so it's okay.
That's good. But you see EnDerr getting a little bit of harassment in there. Drones will be pulled because an unupgraded drone is the exact same stats as an unupgraded Ling.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was really kind of funny. You see Carnage going into the main. Too many Zerg players. I was like, EnDerr. No, not EnDerr. Must be Winter. No, not Winter either. Carnage. Carnage getting a full scout off of the main of EnDerr. EnDerr looking pretty normal right now. I like this heavier queen play we sometimes see. Not actually doing it quite yet, but I really like the heavier, maybe like 3-4 queen out of Zerg on this map, and then going into a quick third.
Yeah, it gives you options, and having queens is like kind of never bad. Obviously, you want to use the minerals for other things as well, but no one ever, I think, loses a game and then says, "Oh, it's because I made too many queens." They're pretty good early. They're pretty hardy. They can transfuse key structures. They're great. They're one of your only things that can really block units in CVZ. So, yeah, it is good if you can afford it with your build to get a few out.
Yeah, most definitely. Any situation, extra queens are nice. We do see interesting variation. EnDerr going for speed, but Carnage going for +1 missile attack. So I'm assuming we're going to see Roaches out of Carnage, and then EnDerr going into those Lings. Maybe not Mutas. I don't think Mutas, but definitely feel like EnDerr's going to have a little bit of an advantage in the situation. Or my bad, Carnage.
Yeah, we got EnDerr going up to the lair. We've got the roach speed already coming out for Carnage, as well as the ranged attacks. Whereas the Roach Warren is just now coming down on EnDerr's side of things.
Yeah.
But obviously the third base.
I really like this from Carnage. Carnage clearly seeing his opponents going for that third for right now. And I like kind of, he's assuming there's going to be a lot of aggression early, or at least a lot of aggression coming because his opponent is being so gutsy and taking that third. Not a super early third, but definitely seeing the lanes, he expects something. And right now I like the wall going down, going for his own third, but I like this SimCities going on right now. Roach is trying to hero away at these lings, but there is enough lings they can just surround. But a couple more roaches coming in on the side, they should be able to push that off fine. And now it looks like EnDerr will be transitioning into roaches, but after getting speed, so he will be just a little bit behind. And definitely roach speed will be about 80 seconds behind a full minute. So for a full minute at least, Carnage will have a little bit of advantage here that he can do stuff.
Yeah, for sure, and that may be just enough to try and make some move on this third base, dart in, kill it, knowing that you can get away if the attempt goes awry. That is kind of the advantage of having basically that speed disparity.
Yeah,
a couple roaches kind of going the wrong way here. Will get caught out by these lings, but they may not die anyway. Yeah.
I think he actually meant to do that. How he moved them in, he split them up to do a little bit of
did he? Okay.
Yeah, he was trying to see what's on that side. Carnage moving into the third base of EnDerr. There will be some roaches to meet it, but in the third base of Carnage, there's a couple lings coming in. A few roaches and Spine Crawler should push it off, though, but back in the third base of EnDerr, trying to, right now, EnDerr actually looks like he's got a decent, not necessarily concave, but a lot more unit surface area, but Carnage looking like he's got maybe the advantage here. The Queen should be able to provide a little bit of extra power, but right now, roach speed is done for Carnage, and Carnage with a few more roaches, or if he pumped out a couple more roaches right now, would be in a great position. Lings will have to push this back, actually, though, and Carnage can't retreat really out of these lings because there is too many right now, and he will kill them, but only having 2 roaches left and 1 roach on 4 health, which will get killed. And roach speed is done for EnDerr now, so they're both on an even footing, except for 1-1 coming out for, actually, technically 1-2 coming out for Carnage.
Yep, and it is EnDerr's side to go on the aggressive here a little bit, as he is going to be pushing out into the third base. His contingent is a bit larger this time around. Reinforcements are coming for his opponent, but he's got about a 10 roach advantage right now, but that is cut down when reinforcements arrive. And this, with the Spine Crawler there, that's probably enough to tip it in the defensive favor.
Yeah, EnDerr kind of going for the third, but there's too much there and tips it.
Oh, but a big run by into the main. Or not big, but perhaps effective if it does pick off the Queen here.
Yeah, very, very nice trade right there. Just putting down the macro and just pure larva production of Carnage is really important in these very just pretty much mass unit versus mass unit games that we see at ZVZ at the moment. EnDerr splitting up his forces. I kind of like that, trying to scout on the left, maybe attempting to pretend he's putting on pressure onto the third, but he is going to the natural. Right now, though, Carnage reacting very, very quickly. Queen will be... Was that a Queen or a drone? I'm not sure. EnDerr will snipe one of the upgrades. Big win there for EnDerr, but now he's trapped in the main base, and there is units coming out of the... Actually, there's no units coming out of the main right now, but the Overlords do pop out. Carnage moving up into his own main, and really right now, EnDerr's stuck here. He needs to do as much damage as he can, but then a sling run by with roaches going into the third of Carnage. Right now, EnDerr playing really, really good right here, and he's just pulling Carnage apart here because all his roaches are in the main trying to defend.
Yeah, he does get that good position over there. The main is now cleaned up, but it took a lot of effort. Reinforcements will come over and they'll try and save the third, and I think they will before there's any chance for that to die, but still a lot of damage done as Carnage is down to just 37 drones.
Yeah, 23 workers have been killed so far of Carnage's workers. And he's actually moving out, but EnDerr will move straight back in there. He's saying, no way, I'm going to try to kill that hatch.
And I think he may have to go for the trade here, but they're both about even overall army supply. And I think realizing the threat. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Now, just realizing the threat, he had to decide there, is he going back or what is he doing? And decides to strategically snipe the Roach Warren itself, so that reinforcements are not part of the equation.
Yeah, now he's pulling back, though, but if Carnage can win this battle, I think he really wants to win the battle with all the rest of these roaches, because he can take out a macro hatch and the third if he can do that, which will be a big win for him. Maybe even snipe that roach one, but there's a great concave by EnDerr here. Queen doing a couple transfuses here, but it looks like there's just too much for EnDerr at the moment. I think Carnage will pull out, but with a couple roaches coming across the map, it looks like Carnage will be flanked here. 30 lings coming out of EnDerr, and that should be fine to push back this small amount of roaches that are still living.
Yeah, and with the lings coming in to join, it's going to trap everything here, and he has no choice but to play it at this point, and he's down about 20 workers, and this is going to be overwhelming here for EnDerr. Reinforcements trying to join, but they have no real choice but to pull back.
Yeah, right now. You know, right now,
there's a period of time he's just kind of in shambles. Two of his hatcheries are not only under droned, but there's no queen at them. There's been no injects in there for a little while, really since they were attacked. So he's just going to fall further and further behind in what his army potential is.
Yeah, he's trying to push out a few more roaches, but really right now I feel like EnDerr's just got such a big advantage. There is 1-1 for Carnage, but only 0-1 for EnDerr. Kind of what's been pulling him through in these roach fights. But I just think there's too much coming for EnDerr, and he's fighting too close to his opponent's natural in this situation, when you're just barely getting by. You don't want to fight too close to your opponent's natural in ZVZ because they'll just pump out units quicker and they'll get to reinforce quicker.
Yeah, exactly. And this fight's going relatively even despite all those lings, which is interesting. But at some point that has to give, as Carnage's economy is so much lower. And this is the pushback point here, as fresh roaches overwhelm the damage forces and shove them back.
Carnage would pull back to his third, where there's no spine crawler this time. And I actually love that. I like the contamination. Yeah. The contamination on that hatch is stopping it from at least getting the injects, but there is no queen anyways. And like you were saying, only one queen in the natural, none at the main, none at the third. Looks like EnDerr going in for, I'm guessing, a game-winning kill here, but he's still some chance for Carnage here, but there's just so few units being pushed out. I mean, 8 roaches, but on the other side, EnDerr is pumping that out, plus upgrades, and still has all his queens. So far, Carnage has lost 30 workers, and has not replenished them. Only 1 at the third and a couple in gas.
Yeah, really the only thing going in his favor at all is 1-1 versus 1-0. But yeah, there may be too much. This concave, once again, pretty good for Carnage.
Third.
It's going to be hard to pull into this, but or push into this. But he may have too much here now.
In the natural and the main, also getting hit by Ling run-bys, taking him as many drones as they can. Looks like Carnage has been slowly picked apart. And EnDerr still pushing, though. It's maybe something for Carnage, but I highly doubt. GG! EnDerr takes Game 2, evening it out to a 1-1 score.
Alrighty, here we are on game number 3 of this matchup. We are on Expedition Lost, and down here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have one of our Zerg players. He is from Team Boreal. It is Carnage.
And his opponent getting a Game 2 to his name last game, allowing him to stay in the series. Representing Storm Gaming, it is the Red Zerg, EnDerr. Also representing my co-caster, EnDerr. So yeah. Woo! You're EnDerr's sword, though. You're too much EnDerr. He's the EnDerr, and you're the sword. He uses you.
That makes sense.
Makes perfect sense, yes.
I am a weapon. Clearly.
A weapon of war. Looks like Carnage's third will just be slightly faster, but it won't really affect that much. EnDerr, yeah, both going for the third. Both essentially the same strat so far. Looks like the variant's coming now. Carnage taking a gas. Actually, yeah, Carnage taking a gas, so it looks like EnDerr just kind of saving up for now. Probably going to pump out a few lings. Or EnDerr, EnDerr saving up for that.
Yeah, EnDerr saving up. Carnage going for the much earlier gas than we saw in the last game there. And now mining from it. Did not right away. And of course a key tell there if he stops at 100. Continues on from that point. And we only time will tell.
Yeah, I feel like these overlords that actually for Carnage are not going into the main or the natural will be really important to see what's going to come out, because that'll say, do you want to go speed or do you want to go into something else? Because I feel like he's going to want to go speed. Actually, maybe not. Are we going to see a third of EnDerr? I don't think so. I think EnDerr's going to put on some heavy lane pressure, or at least he's being just a little bit greedy if he doesn't.
I do find the Overlord positioning interesting on this map. They seem to position in such a way that you watch what's coming down the main ramp and what goes to either of the side ramps.
Yeah.
So that you know both what's coming and the route that it could take and things like that. But it almost prevents one of the Overlords doesn't go right in the same way it does in some other maps.
Yeah, we do see now though from Carnage getting metabolic boost. So, as I was saying, I'm kind of curious which player's going to take the aggression here. EnDerr clearing up those lings in his main, also making sure no scouts will get off. But I'm very curious who we're going to see do the first aggression. Both players kind of not passive, but definitely none of them showing signs of big aggression's coming right now.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting several drones being made on Carnage's side, even though he's closer to having that speed completed. So that may be more of a defensive tool than aggression at this point. He is putting a baneling nest down and putting it right up front. So once again, whether that's going to be on the defensive side of things, he doesn't really have the ling count out to really do much with it, at least not at this point. He's getting 8, but certainly not an overwhelming number by any stretch.
Yeah, not too much now. Baneling Nest, as you're saying, will be coming down right now for I always say right now, but it's actually like 40. It's actually 2/3 of the way done. And Evo Chambers, so I'm curious if he goes for that +1, or actually the early gas for him has really, really helped him here. And so it looks like he will be able to pump out +1 missile and banelings. But I'm a little curious if the banelings are more for defensive or for the aggression. Looks like Ling's coming into the main though, or natural of Carnage. Going after this Queen's, focusing down. There will be one transfuse. Will he use it? He will not use the transfuse. Actually decides to inject in the natural. In the main, same thing may actually go down. Lots of Lings running around crazy here. Looks like they will be cleaned up though. That was a decent win right there for Carnage actually. He had the transfuse ready and just decided to go in for the inject.
Yeah, and we get the Roach Warren here behind that for Carnage. He's now making a few banelings, and yeah, just on the defensive side to brace for any sort of counterattack. He didn't know about the third during that run by, but he knows about it now. And Carnage putting his own down, but he may not be able to save that with the banelings off creep. Although they kind of walk right into one.
Yeah, I was saying, decent hit right there. Going into the main, though, but he's already lost a lot. Banelings for EnDerr coming in now. Targeting down the Queen. The Queen will not be able to block off that ramp, allowing these Lings essentially to run wherever they want to. But
Banelings coming in.
Big Baneling hits.
Going after drones.
6 dead. Lings into the main still. Wow, lots of dead. Lots of, I don't know if control errors, but lots of things getting killed here by Banelings. Pretty even, though.
Yeah, and that brings down Carnage to no Queens. He has to start remaking them in his main and natural, but currently empty. A baneling going off on a group of Lings. He is a bit unfettered here in the natural base at the moment. We'll go after a few more drones, at least weakening them down to one-shot range. The Roach is coming out. We'll tie up the Lings for the time being, but they'll dart past into the main.
Oh, as soon as Carnage sees those banelings, he gets out of there, and those banelings kind of preemptively go off right there. And these drones desperately trying to hold on. They know one baneling is going to slaughter them all, but then EnDerr going into the third, trying to end this game very, very quickly on 3 bases, not even saturating the third. Actually, with a few he is saturating, but still just doing a lot of damage into Carnage, and actually may be able to focus down this third. I don't think he will be able to. He's got to get a nice angle on it, though. If he runs back in, he may be able to. And so far, 12 drones EnDerr has killed.
Yeah, it has been a lot. It could definitely have been a lot more. Carnage has done a pretty good job of at least tying up some of the Lings so that it's not a total disaster. But yeah, here now we get again a situation where the third may become a bit of a liability, that he's not mining much from it or making much from it, but he'll have to leave things back to defend it. Carnage getting a run by a Lings, but they do get kind of trapped down.
Yeah, running back. On the back of this, Carnage going for Roaches, which I really like. He sees so many Lings, he knows he just needs to get these big units out to be able to defend. And they're, even with the Baneling, Roach, or actually Carnage being pulled back into his natural now. I don't know if it's the best idea. Some nice Roach positioning, though. It will be pretty much immune to any of these Lings, and it looks like they should take it down just gradually. Carnage, there's Lings actually on the move command, though. And Roach speed is almost done now, but there's not that many Roaches actually coming out for Carnage, but definitely will aid him in any of the incoming attacks. And these 2 hero Roaches will spot those Banelings and will cancel them quite quickly. Or actually, no, they were canceled. I was like, wow, those Roaches killed them so fast. I was like, oh wait, no, it's canceled. I was like, it doesn't work like that. I really like, EnDerr has got a lot better Overlord spread than the previous game. Previous games he really hasn't done much, and in this game he definitely has so much vision of his opponent.
Yeah, definitely. You can see any attack path that is coming just entirely. He's even got, what I really like is the one at the third base that is going to know the moment that these 5 roaches leave. And literally the split second they leave, this group of lynx come back in. If they ever leave. Nice little run by into the main. There are 3 roaches there. And he is also trying to pull off to the side to potentially turn into banelings, but I love how a lot of Zerg tactics rely on your opponent not having object permanence in their minds. He does take up the third base there, again with a slightly too few roaches there to actually save it. He sacrifices the lings to take it down.
Explain what you were talking about. Explain what
you run in with a bunch of lings, and then you split some of them off and run them into a corner. And so much of that is relying on your opponent forgetting that if they can't see an object, it has not stopped existing.
Oh, yeah. So, forgetting that there's a couple lings over there that they did get away earlier.
Because they see it. They definitely see it happen, but then sometimes they get so caught up in what they're doing, they forget to go back and check.
Yeah, that's really how there's just a little attack, or just a little, and I mean that's what changes games right there. You forget it, and then 10 lings in your main. They were just hiding out in the corner. But it looks like EnDerr amassing all his roaches here on the high ground. It will be spotted though. In Carnage barely will get those rocks down. I think EnDerr might have been able to do it, but his army would have been split up. He's deciding, I'll wait, take down those rocks myself, and he does not want to come down this ramp. This is a very nice concave for Carnage, but actually, right now, Carnage actually has the upgrade lead at least, so really that's not going to be good for EnDerr.
Yeah, EnDerr with the slightly bigger army, but only slightly, about 10% larger, and he's working on the back rocks here. Baneling's literally morphing in the mineral line of the third base.
I don't need to actually pay attention. I just get morphed.
Does not even care.
Oh, and they will get away. They don't take out the queen. I'm kind of sad they didn't take out the queen right there. Looks like EnDerr will be moving into the main, though, but, I mean, Carnage is so much more upgrades than, or Carnage just has such a lead, 1-2 to 0-1. I feel like Carnage can take this right now. Don't retreat, Carnage. He can take this fine. He's got a two upgrade lead, and he's got almost a decent concave here. Actually, a little bit of a surround. EnDerr going for some of the workers here, trying to do as much damage as he can. 19 workers dead so far. EnDerr is killed, but I think really Carnage can track him right here. Carnage is the game.
Yeah, he will corner this and even out and even turn in his advantage. I think the army supply difference. So now he's got not only the upgrade advantage, and he's got a full round. He's got 2-1 against 0-1 in the upgrade count. So evening out the army supply really is strongly in his favor. Even the worker supply at this point, despite losing a good number, is at least in the ballpark. It could be a lot worse given how much he lost to banelings and that his third had died.
Yeah, and the banelings are like, we don't need to actually micro. We're just going to morph in here, and if you forget, you die. A beautiful concave coming from Carnage. EnDerr cannot engage into this. Needs to engage next to the spine crawl, and hopefully with a couple of queens, but queens are nowhere in sight for any transfuses. So really, once Carnage takes this battle, this is going to be a great position for him.
Yeah, nice long stringy concaves here.
Very good, though. That's exactly what you want in these really, really heavy roaches. But still, Carnage, a little bit of an upgrade lead. Actually, no, they're completely even. Defender's advantage goes to EnDerr, and he's pushing this back. I'm really surprised by that. I was expecting Carnage to take that completely.
Yeah, had he still had that double upgrade lead at the time, then it would have definitely gone in his favor. But it did get even out between that and the previous fight. So, just superior numbers by EnDerr was able to bring that through.
EnDerr slowly being that meat grinder that once you've defeated the army and you're in your opponent's main, he can't reamass that army that it needs to. Oh, just barely. Oh, will not lose that small pack of 6 roaches on the left-hand side. But it looks like Carnage on a pretty nice angle on this attack. Getting a very nice angle here. There is a little bit of a flank coming from Carnage. Actually, it will not happen. EnDerr going for a little bit of a flank here, but actually just a great concave. And if EnDerr would push these into the third, it would be a great time to do that on the right-hand side of those roaches. But EnDerr pushing into the main, even if all these units die right here, I'd actually like to see him focus down that roach warren there.
That's what he wants to kill.
He pushed back though.
Yeah, you can kind of tell that's what he was hoping to gun for, but didn't feel like he could divert the attention to it. We'll push in here now. He's literally got a 3-1 army lead at the moment, 4-1 now. Just steamrolling over, and there's no way to reassemble the force at this point.
I was just saying, it's like once you get into the main or the natural of your opponent's ZVZ, that is their production. Their production only comes from that. So their production is coming from, if they're on 4 bases, it's coming from 4 different points, and so they just can't join together. Looks like Carnage desperately trying to push this back, but EnDerr has so much. Natural goes down. EnDerr trying to take out anything before it actually can even get out. The Lings will do nothing. I think
Carnage just pulled like 8 drones to go attack the 4th. Yeah. So yes, it will be EnDerr going into the final match of the night.